Thanks for tuning in to 3-Point View this week. You guys like to go to Cleveland?
Not really.
Not really? We live by Cleveland. How cold is it out there right now?
Right now it's like 6 degrees.
Well, apparently Josh Rosen doesn't want to go to Cleveland either. Mm-hmm. Josh Rosen was touted to be the number 1 draft pick by the Cleveland Browns, thanks to their 0-16 record. And Josh Rosen says, I'd rather go back to sunny UCLA before I play for the Cleveland Brownies, the mistake by the lake, the factory of sadness.
I'd rather go play Canadian football and play for the Browns.
What do you think, Brandon?
Well, a couple episodes ago, I actually thought that Cleveland was going to take a shot at him. And apparently maybe he thought Cleveland was going to take a shot at him, and he doesn't want to be there. To me, you and I, we were all discussing earlier, usually the player who comes off and says he doesn't want to go to a particular team turns out to be a pretty good player.
Like who?
Eli.
John Elway.
John Elway.
Back then, with John Elway, he said he'd rather play baseball.
Yeah.
He even said he took $1 million contract.
He was pretty good with the Yankees.
Yeah, he was actually pretty good. They actually had him hitting like 4th in the lineup for the Yankees. Anyway, but like you said, it's worked out. Every guy that says, I don't, Eli, fast forward, 14 years later, 13 years later, he has 2 Super Bowl rings. Meanwhile, Phillip Rivers, 0.
Yeah.
So,
and Rivers
Rivers not bad. Rivers is pretty good. To be honest, if you gave me the option of picking between the two right now, I'd take Rivers. Yeah.
I'd pick Rivers. So, Sam Darnold, USC Sam Darnold, who's they're saying he has all the skill level, they said across the board, arm strength, reading defense, so on and so forth. But I don't see that producing on the field. You know what I mean?
Darnold, he has double-digit interceptions
in college. In a weak conference. It's not even like he's in the SEC where he's playing against future NFL players.
I hope we don't get Darnold or Rosen.
I know who we're getting, but I'm going to save that because it's listed later on in our
segments. We'll get to it.
But I'm going to say this about some of these rookies coming out. If you want to come into the NFL and be the man and be that guy and want to turn around a franchise, why not Cleveland?
Yeah.
If you think of how much money and how many picks, and you can come in and influence them on saying, okay, if I'm going to be your guy, get me this player, I need this, I need that. Right. You can almost put your influence and your stamp on building a team, especially if you're going to be that guy.
You'd be a legend in Cleveland.
Dude, take him to the playoffs a couple times.
You'd be an absolute legend.
Absolutely.
Why go to an already seasoned team that has their legends? Create your own legacy with a place that doesn't have.
What's the biggest Browns legend?
Kozar.
Brian
Sipes. That's and Vinny. Drew a little bit there, and
Vinny sucked. They called him Vinny Intercept Diverted. Like Vinny had his worst run in Cleveland. He got replaced by Eric Zier.
Oh yeah.
You remember Eric Zier?
Number 10.
Wouldn't surprise me if Eric Zier came back out and played for him again. They go through quarterbacks.
So we're going through all these quarterbacks right now.
Yeah.
There's a man with a chip on his shoulder. He's got such a chip on his shoulder that he says, I won the Heisman. I've got close to the top 5 passing yards NCAA history. About to play for a national title, possibly. Mm-hmm. And now, Baker Mayfield says, I'm going to play the Senior Bowl, which is like unheard of. Yeah. Usually, it's like the Dak Prescott or whatever who didn't get as much,
questionable.
The reason he is doing this is because he's going to go out there and try to show out.
Oh, yeah.
There are people aren't giving him the respect that he feels he deserves. I personally think he's in my top 3, maybe 2 quarterbacks in the draft right now. I said this before. I feel like he's got the Heisman. I feel like there's a good chance he's going to end up being a national championship, on the national championship team, and I feel like he's going in the first round. It's just who.
If he goes out and shreds everybody in the college football playoffs, why would he have to play the Senior Bowl? If he goes out and shreds a Nick Saban defense or a Clemson defense, he's going to anoint himself as a first round pick.
He's just adding to the stats.
Team first mentality.
If Tim Tebow can be picked in the first round, why can't Baker Mayfield?
Yeah, well, Tim Tebow, I think they just clamored for Tim Tebow because he had all the accolades and thought that they could switch his
The person
towards
who
When
Marshall.
Tim Tebow does that speech after they lost,
Oh, the Florida speech?
oh my God! Like I'm a Buckeye fan, and I was like getting hyped. Like you'll never see a quarterback as put much as work as I can, and he don't got like a deep voice.
No.
He's just like the way he states it. I'm like, I want to run through a wall for this guy. Like that's probably what.
That's kind of how Mayfield is too.
Mayfield, like I said, he reminded me of Chase Daniels,
Yeah.
but like I'm looking, I've
Look at
seen
Wilson, Drew Brees in him.
scouts have said 2 players. Ready for this? Just read on ESPN.com. 2 players they reminded Baker Mayfield. Some are saying Johnny Manziel, because others are saying Brett Favre.
I don't see that.
Same height, same weight. I don't think he's got the gun, but he's got the gunslinger mentality.
He does. That's what he does have. The physical tools, I don't think he has that though.
I told you guys who I thought he was from the start. I feel like it's Manziel, Kirk Cousins boiled into a quarterback if they were to have a quarterback.
Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback.
I think Baker Mayfield's a good quarterback.
Oh, okay.
I'm not saying it as an insult.
I think Mayfield and Josh Allen, good to go. Josh Rosen, Sam Darnold, the boss quarterbacks.
Perfect storm for Josh Allen is to be under Eli or somebody like that. Somebody they could do the tutelage to.
I think Josh
I don't
Allen
think
goes to Denver.
Physically,
They're gonna throw him in right away. They
skill
need
set-
somebody right away.
skill set wise, Josh Allen got it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
I
I'm
think he goes to
saying
Denver.
he is not ready. I don't think for NFL football. I think he can just like Steve McNair had to sit a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers. They had all the tools. We've seen the tools, but I think if he gets in there like a Garoppolo, how he sat under Brady, look how he's prospering now.
What about Mayfield?
Mayfield will not sit. Mayfield wants to kick the door open and kick your teeth in and
So
tell you.
Mayfield no sitting.
He's not gonna have the
Just yes or no.
He's gonna probably sit, but I'm
I
just
think he's
saying.
gonna sit.
I think he has.
I think I know where
I
he's
think he
going
has the
to
mind.
Josh Rosen, is he sitting?
It depends on where he goes. If he goes to New York, he's sitting.
Anywhere but New York and Cleveland. Are they sitting or
You
playing?
got to give me the situation. You know what I mean? Because we thought Deshaun Watson was gonna sit.
I got a situation.
What?
It also leads into we're just gonna kick in the door with this
Right,
because
go for it.
I'm going into it.
What's your deal?
I see a picture. There's another quarterback.
Here's the deal.
Here's the deal. Apparently that's my catchphrase. All right.
This is the deal of the
Here's
day.
the deal. Pat Mahomes is starting his first game this weekend. Okay.
Yeah.
Kansas City's locked in. There's a little guy named Alex Smith that I don't see is coming back to KC next year.
No.
There's a guy named John Dorsey who is now GM for Cleveland.
I love a coffee, Duncan.
Not bad, not bad. I see Alex Smith joining the Browns next year because of the GM,
I can see that.
and I see them drafting a quarterback still.
No.
And I see that quarterback sitting behind Alex Smith.
And who is that quarterback?
I'm thinking if he kicks in the door, I think it's Mayfield.
No.
That's the way I'm seeing it.
Good
Drawn.
mentor.
And he's a team player. He's not gonna care. He does. I mean, look what he's done with
He's not
Pat
gonna cause
Mahomes.
problems.
He's not irritated they drafted Pat Mahomes.
Right.
He came in and outperformed himself.
The guy's still putting his stats up.
Yeah.
He's still winning ball games, and ultimately he's still getting paid.
That's exactly where I see that scenario going. I don't-
If Alex Smith, if he stayed on the Niners, would have they won the Super Bowl?
Oh, with that team led by Kaepernick?
Yes. Remember,
I-
what was his record? His record was
It was-
amazing
it was good.
when
Later
Harbaugh
on,
was there.
Later on, yeah.
So I'm saying they got rid of him in the middle of him prospering, and then
Yeah.
they got Kaepernick because he was the hot
What, did he get a
shit.
concussion or something?
Yeah, he
Where lost his job?
lost. Yeah, that's exactly what
And
happened.
everybody was clamoring for Kaepernick to play anyways. So.
Well,
So good, Alex.
Dorsey's known for getting like those little gems in the draft. So
Yeah.
what if it's not Mayfield? It's not Allen. Maybe it's that quarterback from Northwestern or somewhere. You know,
Right.
that he sees. Fit.
I see him going with a quarterback. in the
Big
first
name, no
round.
name.
Big name.
Big name.
And I feel like he's still going to find those gems, but it's going to be later on. How many? What they got? Was it 4 picks in the first 3 rounds? What was it? 3 picks?
Yeah.
I know it's like right
I'm
there.
saying
He's
there's
got an abundance of picks,
Right,
an
right.
abundance of cash.
There's so much talent in that first round that are future Pro Bowlers, like unheralded talent.
I want the defense.
I want the defense too. That Chubb from NC State coming off the side, and Garrett on the other side. Oh, that would be nasty. Like you'd have no time.
But in the same aspect, if you're setting the Browns up for the future, and moving forward, what is the one piece they've been missing for 20 years?
Always quarterback.
So why wouldn't you?
The one guy on ESPN
said
said the Browns should use their first 3 picks on a quarterback, and then they can't go wrong.
They would still figure out a way to
screw it up. Okay, so we talked about everybody as far as who's getting drafted, so on and so forth.
Talk about the young, go to the old.
Let's talk about underachievers and overachievers in the NFL this year. So, leading up to this year, the Raiders were being shown off, anointed as the top. They're going to Super Bowl, AFC Championship. Oh, they're going to AFC Championship. They weren't even giving the Steelers a shot. It was Patriots, Raiders,
Yeah.
And Derek Carr, what have they done this year?
He hasn't been the same since he hurt his back.
Yeah.
Amari Cooper hasn't been the same player all year.
Yeah.
Michael Crabtree wasn't the same player this week.
How'd that work out for you?
It hurt bad. Marshawn Lynch hasn't been who I thought he was going to be this year. I mean, he's grinding it a little bit more now.
He's better known for his dance moves this year than his actual running.
He's better known for being suspended or thrown out of a game and
arguing
with the
Marcus
ref,
Peters,
the umpire.
Yeah,
but
what about Des Bryant saying he's not going to take less money? He underachieved this year. He does not separate anymore. I watched the games.
But the thing is, he didn't separate with Romo that much either. But Romo threw him the ball, gave him that chance to go up and get it.
When Dak throws it to Dez, it is so evident that a blind man can see what's coming.
Yeah.
Like, he just stares him down and just chucks it that way. It's a 50-50 shot. Like, there's no precision passing.
Stevie Wonder out there can stick his hand
right.
If I was Dallas, I'd be giving Dez this.
Yeah, because he's due to make. He's due to make.
He's going to make way too much money, and they could find basically nobody's that can do what he's doing right now. He's not that damn impressive.
Right.
Is he the greatest Cowboys receiver ever?
No.
Mike
Harmon smoked him.
Des Bryant.
Is he a Hall of Famer?
Des Bryant?
Yes.
No. He hasn't had a 100-yard game, and I want to say, and don't quote me on this, but 19 straight or 20 straight.
He's touchdown. As far as fantasy, he's just touchdown dependent.
Yeah. I mean, he's a 4-catch, 52-yard reception.
What's the little white guy?
Yards. Cole Beasley.
I'd almost rather have Cole Beasley.
He looks like the pirate off of Dodgeball.
Oh yeah, he does.
He does look like
he does so much.
So okay, last year I thought coming into this year, Matt Ryan, after what happened at Super Bowl, would light the world on fire. I don't see him doing anything.
I knew he wasn't going to
because of Shanahan.
Because Shanahan left. You know who's lighting the world on fire right now?
Oh God, here we go.
Jimmy G. I'm gonna bring that up every week till next year, so just be prepared for it.
So Jimmy G would be an overachiever.
Yeah.
Is Jimmy G the biggest overachiever of the year?
No.
Who in your mind is the biggest overachiever?
I would say at first Alex Smith when he started out with 19 touchdowns and no picks.
They fell apart for a few weeks there. Kareem Hunt was there too.
Yeah, I would say Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara. I mean, being a rookie to come in.
And on top of it, he's sharing carries with another.
Well, he hasn't barely been playing when Adrian Peterson was there.
Yeah.
So he didn't.
Who recruited Kamara? Did Lane Kiffin recruit Kamara at Tennessee back then, or was it
I don't know
the
who
new
recruited.
class?
I don't know who recruited.
I'm about to say, if you know Lane Kiffin recruited him, he'd be saying something right.
Sean Payton was so high on him that they were praying that he would drop and like nobody would pick him like Cleveland because Cleveland was almost there at the end to pick him.
Of course, Cleveland.
Yeah.
So. What about Goff? Is he a big overachiever?
I think Goff is the biggest overachiever.
But is Goff the biggest overachiever due to the biggest overachiever I believe in the league, Gurley?
I think
Gurley set up Goff.
I do feel that Gurley overachieved this year. I don't think that this is out of the question for Gurley to do every year, though. I think Gurley just didn't do it because of Jeff Fisher, and I think Goff didn't do it because of Fisher.
Jeff Fisher even said a comment about the Rams now that he left them in a good position.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
shut up.
You helped get some players. When you were running it, it looked like poop.
Exactly.
It looked like what?
Poop.
Okay.
But Goff, I do agree on Goff being an overachiever.
I think Goff's the biggest. I thought he was done.
All the critics, all the analysts.
I thought he was done.
Off last
I thought
year.
he was
off, except for one person.
They were already talking about playoff bust. I mean,
draft bust.
Right,
like a Ryan Leafish.
Yeah.
But the only person on ESPN that even gave this dude a chance was Louis Riddick.
Really?
And now Riddick is in line to be a GM.
Jaws even wrote him
at the
off?
Giants. Everybody wrote Goff off.
I've watched 34,000 hours of
You know who's from YSU?
I watched 47,000 hours of film, and Jared Goff is no good. He thinks Jay Cutler's like the best quarterback ever.
Yeah.
Like, how much are you actually watching?
He also went to YSU, so.
YSU. Anyway, so Wentz, did we expect him to be this good this fast?
Not this good.
I wouldn't say this good.
Not this good.
I wouldn't say this good or overachiever. I think he's where he's supposed to be. I think he falls in that category.
I don't think he's where he should be. I think he's way better than he should be.
Well, he's past, but he was already like ready to go. Like he had the body, the mind.
Here's the deal. If
and
you
all
had
that.
told me when the Eagles drafted him that 2 years later he'd be leading, he's been injured. He's going on 2 games out, going on third game now, and he's still leading the league in touchdown passes.
Really?
Still, right now. So he's missed 2 games, and he's still got more
I think
touchdown
he's
passes.
33.
33. Yeah,
33.
more touchdown passes than anybody else. And they're not even going to consider him as an MVP candidate. Why? Because he got injured.
Yeah.
You're still leading in all the stats.
I still, I wouldn't.
I mean, I get it, but I'm just saying, in comparison, does he have an argument for
I
it?
think,
Sure.
I really think, I mean, he could somewhat overachieve, but I think he's where everybody expected him to be.
I think only people in Philly who drafted him expected him
I
to be
did
there.
not
I
think
didn't
he was
see
this
it.
good.
I didn't see it at all.
So we're going with biggest underachiever, Derek Carr.
Derek Carr, definitely.
Biggest overachiever,
Matt Ryan is
Carson
my
Wentz.
biggest underachiever.
Goff.
I would
Goff.
say Kamara. Oh, yeah. Kamara or Goff? Goff.
I go Goff overachiever. I go Matt Ryan underachiever. I think Matt Ryan is completely pooped
Over
the bed
Derek
since-
Carr?
Yeah, even over Carr.
I would say over Carr because Matt Ryan still has the Falcons in the playoff time.
Does Matt Ryan have the Falcons in the playoff run, or does the
Well, Matt
Falcons
Ryan's still on the
defense?
ball. Derek Carr's still on the ball. And
In comparison to
he's got
where he
that
was
knockdown.
last year. Yeah,
But that's-
yeah,
that'd be the difference.
I see what you're saying. I can agree with that. I'm still going. My personal is Matt Ryan. I'm disappointed in him.
All 3 different points of view, and that's why we're calling 3-point view. We'll be right back at you after this.